Good afternoon. I'm Devin Delcourt with Meritor Drive Force. I'm here today with Jim Burg of Burg Trucking Company in Warren, Michigan. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me today, Jim.
Certainly, Devin. Always good to see you. Interested to hear what Meritor can do for the company and talk about my experiences.
Great. And why don't you tell me a little bit about JBTC and your fleet?
Well, the company operates about 90 trucks within the Midwest, typically flatbed operations, multi-axle in Michigan, and regional operation throughout the Midwest.
Okay. And how important is fuel economy to your bottom line?
Oh, I know you're kidding there. Fuel economy, driver expenses, depreciation, maintenance are all top budget items in our expenses. Anything that we can do to reduce fuel costs will certainly help out our bottom line. What does Meritor have to offer to the company to help us reduce fuel costs?
Well, one technology that we're heavily invested in right now is downspeeding.
I've heard about downspeeding. Can you give me a high-level view of what downspeeding is?
Downspeeding is basically reducing engine RPMs at cruise, bringing them down to increase your fuel economy. Good rule of thumb is that for every 100 RPMs you can drop in engine speed, you can pick up 1% back in fuel efficiency. Put that into real world dollars. If you're running 60,000 miles a year, that'll save you about $350 in fuel at today's current fuel prices. Obviously, the more miles that you drive, the greater the savings are going to be.
Oh, 1% is huge, especially in this competitive market for qualified drivers. Tell me more about the components that I would need to maximize downspeeding with my fleet.
Well, first thing you really need to consider with downspeeding is what type of application of truck are you running. Super fast axle ratios are really only appropriate for line haul type applications today. What that means is you're running 60,000 or more miles per year on the highway 80% or more of the time, typically in the top 2 gears. And also running more than 30 miles in between stops. If you're running a split service, for instance, doing line haul at night and doing something like city delivery during the day, using super fast axle ratios is not the best strategy for that.
So if I do have those applications of split service, are there other options available to me?
Absolutely. You can still achieve downspeeding, but you need to look at it in a little different way. What you would like to do there is using a little bit slower gear axle ratio, put together with a close coupled overdrive transmission, and that'll still get you the fuel economy improvements that you're looking for.
Devin, how would I know what truck axle ratio to spec?
Well, you got to look at the truck's vocation, what type of load you're running, tire size, and also what road speed you're going to be running at to really maximize your fuel efficiency.
And road speed does come into play with a spec?
You can still run a truck at 70 miles an hour with a 2.28 rear drive axle ratio, but you're going to be sacrificing some fuel economy there. Your engine RPMs will be up in the 1400 range, and we'd really like to see them down closer to 1200.
I always thought that 14 to 1800 RPMs was maximum torque and horsepower. Engines certainly have changed in the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Engines certainly have changed. For example, engines make peak torque today in as little as a half a second, or engines of days past would take as much as 2 seconds to reach peak torque. What that means is there's an overshoot torque condition now with making torque that quickly where rated torque can be exceeded by as much as 40% of what you would expect that to be. In order to get the best results, you should really consider consulting with your engine manufacturer and OEM.
Interesting. How about clutches and tires? I'm sure that factors as well.
Oh, it certainly does. Today's ceramic clutches reduce the amount of slip that's available to help buffer that increased torque, and today's low rolling resistance tires have greater wheel slip torque than in days past. All that comes together to mean that we have less margin for error when it comes to this increased drivetrain torque.
Then it would only make sense that this high torque affects the drive lines as well.
You're correct again. Utilizing engine torque management is key, along with selecting the right rear axle and choosing the properly sized drive line. Meritor's permanently lubricated drive lines are designed to match up with today's downsped engines.
As someone who specs trucks and equipment, I've got a whole lot more to consider than just the make and model of the truck. I have to consider engines, engine torque curves, transmissions, clutches, drive lines, all the way through tires.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I couldn't agree more. And that's why Meritor is taking the lead on downsped applications. The 14X tandem drive axle is optimized for downspeeding with ratios that go as low as 2.28 to 1 and as high as 7.17 to 1. And really, this application versatility is the reason why Meritor is spec'd on 7 out of every 10 Class 8 trucks that are sold today in North America. What can you tell me about what you learned about selecting drivetrain components today, Jim?
Well, based on a relationship with Meritor, it seems like we've made the right decision. The customer service and quality is second to none in component fields that we've used. And based on the information you shared today, it certainly tells me that I've made the right decision with going with Meritor components.
Well, thanks, Jim. That's definitely what we like to hear, and we certainly appreciate your business. If you'd like to learn more about downspeeding, you can visit meritordownspeeding.com or consult with your local Driveforce representative today.